begin introducing myself. I'm Michael Dougherty. I'm president of Buffalo River Chamber of Commerce. I haven't been here to speak with you. Sorry, I didn't introduce you. Thank you for having us. I'm here to represent the Chamber, and we have also in attendance a coalition of persons who are concerned about protection of the Buffalo River watershed, and specifically would like to have a conversation about the current CAFO that's going in the Mount Judy area. First on my agenda is to introduce members of our group. We've got so many. I'd just like you all to stand if they're part of our group. Please stand if you would. There's a bunch. We're all concerned about the watershed. Thank you, please. I couldn't begin to remember that many names. But we want to talk about the impact. Understand first that our concern primarily is with ADEQ. We feel that ADEQ did not fulfill its public notification requirements. There were many problems with applications that we've seen. In fact, in the early application, the National Park Service wasn't even involved in the review of the application, which is a fatal flaw. Park Service subsequently got a hold of the environmental assessment and the FONSI, which is the finding of no significant impact, and found 45 significant errors in the documents, many of them omissions, and just outright misstatements of fact. There were problems with internal inconsistencies. And one of the biggest issues has to do with really understanding how the Buffalo River ecosystem works. The way I would describe this process is that we have an ecosystem that once it's failed, it's done. You know, if we have a hog farm failure from that development, there's a good chance it will kill the Buffalo River. And when it kills the Buffalo River, it will kill a $38 million economy. So this is incredibly significant. The experience in Iowa has been very often, if you have one accident, it's over. The stream is dead. We feel that the current site has many concerns that really weren't covered in the application process. One of the large concerns is the monitoring and testing process. We have no reason to believe that farmers aren't good people. We believe that. We believe in the farm community. But if there's a spill, it can be accidental. Proximity to Big Creek is a huge issue. There's a reliance by ADEQ on reporting by the Park Service of spills, monitoring it on a quarterly basis. I liken this to having a fire alarm that's only authorized to go off every 3 months. If there's a significant spill, that spill will make it to the Buffalo River very rapidly and it will head downstream. There's 2 million gallons of effluent in these lagoons. And there have been experiences in other states where the whole thing went down. In one case, the karst underneath the lagoons literally collapsed and they went down and into the water table with a spill that could not be recovered. Now, so if you have a monitoring system that is every 3 months, basically, until fish start floating, you're probably not going to notice this thing. So we have basically 2 objectives. We'd like to have the whole permit process backed up for better public comment and study. Not enough work has been done on this thing. But another thing that we're planning to do with our coalition is to build protections for the Buffalo River watershed. We feel very strongly that this situation that happened with ADEQ should not have happened. And because of laxity on their part, young families, the farmers in this case have been saddled with debt that they might be stuck with because of inadequate protection by a state agency that supposedly is supposed to protect them from environmental harm, environmental issues by doing their work, and it wasn't done in this case. One of the one of the pieces that I have for you, if you've ever been to one of my board meetings, you know I kill a lot of trees. I call this why environmental assessment studies matter. And that has to do with a particular case, if you would pass this around, please. And it has to do with finding 18 by the Park Service. Finding 18 by the Park Service had to do with the proximity of this development to the Mount Judy schools. And the application, the economic or the environmental assessment itself, made no mention of the school. No mention of the school whatsoever. Now, the research says that young people are particularly susceptible to the gases that come from these hog farms. Certainly, a hog farm without gas is kind of an oxymoron. We understand that. But if it's right on top of a school and it's a 1/16 of a mile from the school, young people are being placed in harm's way. ADEQ did not identify this. This was identified in the environmental assessment. And in my opinion, that's an egregious error. If I were a parent in that school, I'd be very concerned. So what does it mean? The research on CAFOs says that kids that are within 1 mile of a farm, of a CAFO farm, are going to experience, on average, a 20% increase in asthma. Right? This is real stuff. It's real research. They did a comparison between kids living within 1 mile and kids that live within 10 miles of a CAFO, and there was not much difference. These gases are noxious. It's not just scent. It's hydrogen sulfide. It's ammonia. It's particulate matter. And all of this stuff not only can affect the kids, but it will affect the town of Mount Judy. So here's the point. This conversation should have been held before the decision about the site was made, before the money was spent, before the improvements began. And we put this breakdown clearly at the feet of ADEQ.